before we talk about Saturday's game at Cambridge, just your final thoughts on Tuesday night. Obviously, we've been making the headlines for the result, and also your reaction to the cup draw in the second round away to Gillingham.
Yeah, not many times will I get to speak to you, Craig, on the back of a 7-0 away win against a team at the same level of football as yourselves. So let's make the most of it. Let's enjoy it. What a great night for the football club, that group of players, the fans who are in attendance. I don't think you ever go to a game expecting to see a goal fest, which is what it turned out to be. Those 5 goals in quick succession in the first half were incredible to watch back. But the principles of our play were spot on. We started the game so well. Our intent was right. We didn't score for the first 15 or 20 minutes, but we were asking serious questions of the opposition. And we've done that for 2 games on the bounce now. And that was resulted in 2 really good results with a positive scoreline and clean sheets to boot as well. So the players seem in a good place. Their reward for that scoreline on Tuesday is a short trip to Gillingham on a Tuesday night in a couple of weeks. So it could have been a different tie, maybe a more glamorous one in terms of a home tie against Premier League opposition. But it's an opportunity to progress in that cup competition. But as soon as Tuesday was done, as much as we're talking about it now, we have to put that to bed and concentrate fully on what to expect come 3 o'clock on Saturday against Cambridge.
Gillingham, of course, that will come just a couple of days before the trip to Accrington. But we've been there before in the FA Cup a couple of years ago. That was an excellent game. Like you said, it's a good chance to progress against the side 1 tier below us.
Yes, it is, but it's a long way off right now, Craig. There's a lot of league fixtures to go before that. A lot of travelling, a lot of miles in the legs. A lot of games to overcome. Hopefully, we're still in a good position when we go into that cup tie. But our bread and butter this weekend will be tested to the absolute limit. A good manager, a good team. And they've had 2 fantastic results already, beating a championship team in Millwall in the cup at home 1-0 and beating one of the pre-season favourites in MK Dons 1-0 as well. So we know what to expect in terms of the level of the opposition come this weekend. And I think it will probably be another level on than what we've encountered already so far this season. And that's no disrespect to anyone we've played thus far. But it's going to be a serious game of football, and we have to be a serious team, and serious teams back up good performances, and don't get carried away with the publicity and the recognition we're getting at the moment. We've got to go back to being hard to beat and resolute and connected, like I say, come 3 o'clock on Saturday. But we go there in a good mindset and with some confidence behind us.
You touched on their 3 results there. All 3 games this season finished 1-0. So, there's a chance it could be quite a tight game on Saturday.
Potentially, yeah. They look strong defensively, well organised. They're a well-coached team. They've got the spirit, the character within the camp on the back of their cup run last season and the exploits in the FA Cup. We felt a little bit unlucky in the fixture there last season. It was quite an open game, a lot of chances both ends of the pitch, and then to concede that goal, which shouldn't have stood late on, that hurt. There was no guarantees in relation to the replay, but obviously they had the successful cup tie at Newcastle to look forward to, and got the financial benefits off the back of that. It's not a revenge mission this weekend. It's our next competitive match, our next encounter, our next challenge, and it's right in front of us, and there'll be no surprises this weekend. Our players have to then refocus their minds, because sometimes when everyone tells you you're doing well, you can just take your foot off the pedal a little bit, and football will always tell you the truth. I'm sure it will tell us the truth come 5 o'clock Saturday.
Cambridge are a side who had spent quite a long time in League Two before they finally got up. Do you look at Cambridge as a potential marker for what we can be or what we can aspire to be, or do you want to go even better than that?
No, we understand they've done a fantastic. They've had a fantastic moment in terms of their promotion, and then to become the sustainable League One club, and then added that cup run which we spoke about from last season. They've not had a big turnover of players, something we're conscious of with ourselves with our current squad. And we're not following their model in any way, but we're happy to work with what we've got and make the most of what we've got, and that's something Cambridge seem to have done fantastically well. And they've kept their identity, and that identity has held them in good course throughout their League One campaign last season, and they've started well this season as well. So they're an inspirational team for us to follow in the footsteps of. We'd take their finishing position last season right now for ourselves without a shadow of a doubt. They were a mid-table team, but a safe mid-table team at that, and they had some fantastic results along the way. So full credit to the job they've done, and it gives us confidence that we can maybe match what they've done over a period of time. We've been newly promoted into the league. The league's not shown us its real teeth as yet, and we have to be ready for that this weekend.
Looking at the weather forecast for the weekend, obviously heat wave, I think 35 is expected in Cambridge. This might sound like a silly question, but Can you prepare the players to play in such extreme heat? Do you manage them slightly differently? Is there a different message that you give them?
No, we have to manage them differently. We've not done as long on the training pitch today. Even today's been a hot day in the southwest. We're getting more and more fluids on board. We'll do a light session on the way. I can guarantee with the heat and the summer holidays, we'll be stuck in traffic at some stage tomorrow. It won't be an ideal journey. We'll have to prepare well in terms of our food and our hydration Friday night and Saturday morning. The AFL have brought in the drinks break, so they're mandatory now. Just post 20 minutes first half and around a 70-minute mark second half. So that won't be a discussion point. That will definitely happen. So the players, rightly so, will get the opportunity to rehydrate during the game. We know the 5 substitute rule. We've spoken long and hard about that. And we'll have to use that this weekend because it's uncomfortable heat. And it seems to be very hot this weekend and moving forward.
You spoke last week that you expected after the Carabao Cup ties on Tuesday that more players would become available on loan. Are you getting close to perhaps some targets that you've been working on?
Not as close as we'd like. We've had a couple of offers turned down in the last couple of days. Some players have put themselves in a good position off the back of those cup games. Some players have put themselves in a less strong position and maybe more open to a move to ourselves. So we're still working as hard as we possibly can. We need reinforcements. I use the word, we are desperate for players. Just because we've had a good start to the league campaign and a good result in the cup doesn't mean we don't need to bring players into this football club. We're 1-2 injuries away from being a totally different team and looking like a different animal to what we do at the moment. But we have to bring the right profile of player to this football club, and we're trying so hard. I said on Tuesday, probably naively, that if I was a footballer, I'd want to come to this football club. Players will want to come to us, but it comes to money as well. And it comes down to parent clubs and the loan contribution that we can make. And we can't compete in the market. You probably look at elsewhere, other clubs, some clubs just promoted into the League One alongside ourselves. They're spending a lot more money than we are. So the budgets are totally different, but we have to compete with what we've got to start with the understanding that we still need to bring players into this football club. And by the end of the window, hopefully we'll have 2, 3, possibly 4 more players through the door. And
you said about the end of the window there. By the time that comes around, we'll have played 9 matches in 4 weeks. That's a big ask for a squad our size at the moment.
It is, and it's too much. And the club have to understand that. It's a big ask for that group of players. And, we'll all pat ourselves on the back at the moment and say, well done, and what a great result and what a great scoreline. We will lose the players because they'll get injured. We have to even the playing field in relation to what we can achieve this season. We want to be a sustainable League One club, and we've got to give ourselves every opportunity in relation to doing that. We'll keep on working as hard as we possibly can in terms of identifying the players, which we have done, and putting the offers in front of them. But ultimately, it's about where those players end up. We hope some will end up with ourselves at this football club and be able to progress the squad depth and the squad quality and the squad experience. But we are understanding that we are a certain type of club at the level. And it will be a really interesting period from now until the actual window closes to see what business is done elsewhere, because that's currently our opposition and that's currently our stumbling block in terms of what we can achieve.
Finally then, Giovanni Brown is now an international player as well, called up for Jamaica. We'll of course miss him for a few games, but it's an excellent achievement for Giovanni, and his hard work this season and the end of last season's paid off for him.
We know where Jevani came from, where we started with ourselves, out of contract at Colchester. We gave him a fantastic opportunity. We moulded a team around his skill set. We gave him the right profile of player in and around him. He finished the season so strongly, some inspirational performances in the second half of last season, started really well this season. I'll say it to him all the time, every single day, that his running stats are more now than he's ever ran in his whole career, and he's getting the rewards off the back of that. No one can ever question his quality, his skill level, his movement and manipulation of the football is of a certain level which I've not seen at XSC or most levels of football. But he's got to run, he's got to work hard, and his teammates love him because of the self-sacrifices he makes on that football pitch. Him and Sam and MJ and Josh Coley, the work they do at the top of the pitch to take pressure off the rest of the group is incredible and great to witness. And he's got to keep on doing that for the cause. And we've got to then keep on giving him clean ball. And we give him clean ball, then he'll create moments for the team or himself. And there's no bigger recognition than international level of football, at the highest level in world football. I'm delighted for Giovanni, delighted for his family, delighted for his support network, delighted for those people who've been on a journey with Giovanni, myself and the staff and the players included. And hopefully it's the first of some more to come.